Hey people, it is Saturday, October the 5th. The time is 12:12 in the afternoon, and it's about 13 degrees here in North Bay, Ontario. That's right, I'm here visiting my hometown for a few days. I got here on Thursday afternoon, and this is the first chance I've had to head out and record some videos here. I did a live stream yesterday, but this will be the first pre-recorded video during this visit to town. And I'm making my way along a street called Durrell Street here, which has a pretty good hill, as you can see. And off in the distance, you can see Lake Nipissing there. But I'm going to make my way into downtown and check out the farmers market. I think it's underway right now, and it is running until 1:30 p.m. or so, I hear. So hopefully there'll still be some activity to check out once I get down there. It's not too far away. I just thought I'd take us through some of the nice residential neighborhoods on the way to the farmers market. North Bay is quite hilly, and this end of town especially. It's mostly the northern end of town that is hilly. The southern end is quite flat. And the Laurentian Escarpment runs along the northern edge of North Bay, actually. It's quite a major feature in the local landscape. I don't think we can see it from here, though. Or maybe we can. No, we can't. Maybe at some other point during the walk we'll be able to catch a glimpse of it. The trees are already turning into the fall colors here, as this is several hours drive north of Toronto, so fall comes here a bit sooner. And my voice might sound a little harsh or hoarse right now because I was at a show last night downtown, and it was very loud, and I was seeing lots of old friends and talking to them and catching up, and we had to shout in order to hear each other. So I spent a good chunk of last night just shouting at people as we caught up after not seeing each other in some cases as long as 15 years or even close to 30 years for one person that I saw. We went to see an old friend of mine called B.A. Johnson, who's a touring musician, and a local band called Tall Pork opened up with them, who are made up of a bunch of guys that I also know, going way back. They're a punk band. B.A. Johnson is hard to describe. He's sort of a comedic music act. But it was a good show. Lots of fun was had. Took lots of pictures and at least one video. I don't think that video will make it onto the channel though. All right, this is Copeland Street. So we're gonna keep on heading down to Main Street. You can see the housing stock in this part of town is quite nice. Lots of sturdy old brick homes. Most of them dating back over 100 years. Some of them date back to the early 1900s, maybe even a few from the late 1800s. There wasn't much to North Bay in the late 1800s. It was founded in 1882. I think it became a town in 1891, and then it became a city in 1925. Of course, becoming a city then meant you only had to have 15,000 people. So that's how many people North Bay had in 1925. And now it has probably in the high 50s. It's been growing a bit in the last few years. Maybe 56, 57,000 people in the city itself. And closer to 80,000 if you include the surrounding area. So that was McIntyre Street we just passed. Also a very nice residential street. This is called the Old West End. On one of my previous visits to North Bay, I did a walk all throughout this neighborhood here, if you'd like to see it in more detail. Get some random apartment buildings popping up here and there. All right, so here is Main Street West. It's residential along this stretch, but going in the other direction, it'll take us into the downtown core. Getting ready for Halloween. And it's quite quiet. I don't think I've walked along this part of Main Street in any of my previous visits to North Bay while recording for the channel. I'm pretty sure that once we get to the downtown part of Main Street, it'll be probably dead as dead can be. But the farmers market might be pretty lively, which is just a stone's throw away from the main street. We're sort of about to come into the downtown area. There's a North Bay transit bus that's heading to the campus. There's a large campus with two schools side by side, Nipissing University and Canadore College. Sort of a shared campus. That's way in the northern outskirts of town though. Unfortunately, when they built the university and college here, they didn't build them right in the center of town, which probably would have added a lot of vitality to downtown. They sort of built them in the woods on the edge of town. The schools have grown quite large though, and are one of the major employers, and add a big boost to the population during the school year with all the students. But I think most of the activity stays up there. I don't think a lot of the students come downtown and patronize the shops and restaurants that much. Most things cater to them up in that part of town. I don't know why I was waiting for that light there. And here is the courthouse. I walked past this yesterday during the live stream. Everyone used to call this the castle. It used to be just an old house with a turret, and it looked like a castle, but then they expanded it and added on and turned it into this apartment building with the old turret still there. I don't know if anyone still calls it the castle or not. Probably not. This hotel is a fairly new addition within the last 5 years or so, I think, to downtown. Homewood Suites by Hilton. It has good reviews. Last year I was visiting with Megan and we were looking into staying at that hotel, but we ended up going with a different one. And even though it's only 13 degrees, the sun feels very strong shining down on me now. I'm kind of regretting wearing this long sleeve shirt that I'm currently wearing. I think it's supposed to get up to 16 or 17 today. I had some friends who lived in this apartment building over 30 years ago. If you're watching Chris or Heather. Got a random outcropping of rock here. That's how you know you're in Northern Ontario. This was a hotel for a long time. I'm not sure what it is now. Maybe I'll have to take a look here. It was several different hotels over the years. Apparently it is the Days Inn still. Okay, so the Days Inn. It used to be a somewhat fancy hotel for North Bay going back decades. I think it was the Baywood Inn for most of my time growing up here. Then it became the Inn on the Bay, and there was a rooftop restaurant on the highest level there, not rooftop but on the top floor. And now it's the Days Inn, but I don't think it's too fancy anymore. Maybe the exact opposite, actually. All right, now, can I still walk along the sidewalk over here? I think I can. They're reconstructing Main Street. Here's Topper's Pizza. I know I talk about Greco's Pizza a lot, but this is also another long-standing, good pizza place here in town. You can smell the freshly laid asphalt here. I think this is the last section of the reconstruction of Main Street through downtown. They've already completed some of the blocks further along. This used to be an opera house, believe it or not. Going back, I think, over 100 years or so. And it was a movie theater at one time also. Established in 1908, so that's how far back this building goes. The Royal. Now I think it's apartments in there, and you got some retail. And some offices as well. And this is apartments here. I think this used to be a hotel though, with live entertainment and a bar. And they still have the Music City sign here. That was a local music store that was here for a while, but it's long gone, I think. Just haven't bothered to take down the old sign. I don't think there's anything in that space now. It's been vacant for a long, long time. Mr. Pancho Mexican Food, that's a newer addition here. It's good to see that's still going. I had a friend who lived on the top floor of this building also. I used to go and visit just to check out the view, which is actually pretty good. Pretty good view for downtown North Bay anyway. All right, now we'll walk along a little bit of the main street here. I walked along all of it with my friend Jim in my live stream last night. So this is Fraser Street going up that way. Looks like this building got a paint job. This was an old Kresge's, if anyone remembers that department store chain. And it's gone through many different businesses and different sorts of establishments ever since Kresge's closed down. And here's what Main Street looks like now after the reconstruction. In the early 80s, it went through a major reconstruction where they tore up the asphalt street and replaced it with interlocking brick, and the sidewalks were also interlocking brick. And it stayed that way for 40 years, but now they've kind of changed it back to the way it originally was. Back to regular asphalt street and concrete sidewalks. I kind of preferred the look of the interlocking brick. Gave it a certain charming appeal. And here's where the show was last night, here at Lou Dogs. That's where I saw the show. That's where I yelled and made my voice sound all haggard. So you can see the actual storefronts. The buildings are quite nice. There's nice ambiance. And businesses are still operating, obviously, although there's quite a few vacancies. Just not many people anymore. There used to be a lot more people who would just come and stroll around downtown on a nice sunny Saturday. I used to come downtown and meet up with friends, and it would be pretty bustling. It's one of the nicest old buildings, although it's a bit rough looking now. It suffered a major fire some years back. Luckily it wasn't destroyed, and they did reopen at least on the bottom level there. I'm not sure about on the upper levels or not, what's going on in there. And we have the clock, which doesn't seem to be working right now. Or maybe it is. Is that the right time? No, it's not. Got the Nipissing University alumni banner, although I don't see very many Nipissing University students hanging out down here right now. There's a few people walking around, but definitely very, very quiet here. So Main Street continues on for a few more blocks, but you can see that in the replay of my live stream if you want. But we're going to head over here now. We got Ferguson Street taking us to the farmers market. That old building you see there is the former CP rail station, although there's no more passenger train service passing through here, so now it's the North Bay Area Museum. This is a one-way street, so a lot of traffic that goes through downtown skips Main Street and takes Oak Street here instead. And there's another one-way street in the other direction past Main called McIntyre, where cars go in the other direction. I don't know if it's a good idea to make it easy for people to just speed through downtown. All right, let's go over here. Let's check out some of the storefronts over there on Oak Street. See, there's a playground over there now and a water feature that wasn't there before. I might have to go check that out. This used to be where the transit terminal was located, but it's moved now to a different spot. The old train station, now museum. I don't know if I'll run into anyone I know. It's quite possible. This is actually the first time I've ever checked out the North Bay Farmers Market.
Thank you so much. I'll catch you next time.
I think a lot of these are local businesses that also have a physical location, a storefront or a restaurant. Books by local authors. Well, it's fairly extensive. It keeps on going over here. Before I head over there, let me just take a peek at this. The rotary splash pad. So this is a new addition that was not here during my last visit, or at least I didn't make it to here if it was here. And you can see the other side of the old train station / museum. This used to be a big rail yard we're currently walking along here. A huge rail yard actually, but they only left a few tracks over there, which you can see. Just the main line, the CP rail main line. And this has been transformed over the years into a large park, basically. I'll just get a bit of a closer look at the splash pad here. I think there was also a new skate park that was supposed to be coming to the area. Maybe it's over there, actually. I think I see it. So this is the splash pad. And over here is the Dion Quintz Museum, that little house you see in front of that apartment building. It's an old log cabin that was relocated there from its former location. But yes, the Dion quintuplets were born right inside that house in 1934, I believe. It used to be in Corbeil, and then they moved it to the highway coming into town, and then they eventually moved it here to the new park on the waterfront. I think just 2 of the Dion quintuplets are surviving now. right, let's check out the rest of the farmers market. We already saw this part. And after I walk through this section, maybe I'll end it up at that skate park over there, if that's what that is. I'm not even sure. I know there was talk of building one here. Everything mushrooms. I might encounter some copyright music here, but oh well, I guess I'll contend with that if the time comes. It's like the last section here of the farmers market. I still haven't seen anyone I know. Too bad all these people can't just walk over to Main Street and start going into the stores there. I believe they're open for business. Here's where the bus terminal is located now, the transit terminal. The intercity bus terminal is located near the highway, behind the Northgate Square shopping mall. You can see a couple of buses here. Terminal building. And look at that, a phone booth, an actual phone booth. Apparently you have to come to North Bay to find the last phone booth. Yeah, I think this is a skate park over here. It certainly looks like one anyway. So that was it for the farmers market. I guess it's still under construction. North Bay has been trying to get a proper skate park for decades. There have been various versions of skate parks over the years, but not like a really proper one like this. So that looks pretty cool. And this is new also here. Well, maybe I'll have to come back in another year's time and see this all completed and in full action. I'm sure a lot of local skaters have been eagerly awaiting this. Many of them are probably middle-aged now. They started waiting when they were teenagers. Time to dust off the old skateboard. It looks pretty extensive though. I'm not sure if it'll be for BMX bikes as well. It looks like it. I don't think it's just purely a skate park. So they made some good progress here with developing this new park. And if you go down here, there's a walkway that will take you under the railway tracks and to the waterfront. So how about I'll take us through there, and that's where I'll end the video. The skate park is still a construction site. We'll end on a prettier note over here. This was opened up not too long before I moved away. Before this was here, you had to walk all the way to each end of downtown to cross the tracks at a level crossing. And it was a fairly significant hike to get to the waterfront from the museum area right behind me. But now it's just a short little jaunt here under the tracks. And in my stream last night, I also walked along pretty much all of the waterfront here during sunset, and it was pretty spectacular. So by all means, check that out if you'd like to see what that looks like. And here we are, Memorial Drive. The Kate Pace Way bike path. Kate Pace was a local Olympian, I believe, in skiing. This was one of the first bike paths built in the city, going back to the 80s, I think. All right, I'll just go against the light here. And here we go, Lake Nipissing. I think that maple leaf is new. So that about does it. I hope you enjoyed the walk here on a Saturday afternoon. Is it afternoon yet? Where we made our way to the North Bay Farmers Market, starting in some old residential neighborhoods, heading into downtown, and checking out some of the new stuff at the Waterfront Park, and ending here at the jewel of North Bay, easily I would say, the North Bay Waterfront. So I hope you enjoyed. Leave a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts, and be sure to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already done so. And also make sure you hit that notification bell so that you don't miss any of my videos. If you'd like to support the channel, there are links in the description where you can do so via PayPal, as well as via my merch store, or you can also support the channel by becoming a channel member, or by sending a super thanks if you prefer. And you can find me on Instagram also under KContinuum. So thanks for watching, and thanks to all the channel members, and be sure to keep checking back, because as always, I will continue.